What's up, people? Perry here with episode number 27 of Surviving Creatively. And here we are. We're in our main world. Can you guess where I am exactly? I'm actually in the middle of our keep. I've hollowed out the interior, and this is because we're going to concentrate on the insides, the guts of the keep itself. We're going to make a warehouse and a vault. Hopefully I'll be able to get most of it done in this episode, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about the exterior, what we were doing last episode, and that was addressing some of the comments you guys were saying about the sandstone. You weren't a big fan of it, and to you I say this is kind of like a preliminary type process. I'm not too sure about the blocks I will use. Heck, I don't even know if I will be using this stone brick with the rest of the build, but this is all just blocking and shapes, and colors is kind of secondary to what I want to do. So this sandstone right here may not be the final product, but you never know. The reason why I'm using sandstone in this build is to kind of tie it in with the rest of the palace. But as we go along, things will look better. Things will eventually get to a point where I am actually okay with the design and the look of it. So the type of blocks that I use at this point in time probably isn't the final block, but you never know. I may end up keeping it. Most of these things I come at with like a fresh look, and I just put blocks down and see where it takes me in terms of design and feel. But you never know, those things can change, and often they do. But yeah, just keep an open mind. Just keep an open mind when it comes to the design process and all that good stuff. But today, what we're going to do is we're going to concentrate on building our vault/warehouse. Now, the warehouse will be on the upper half of the keep, and this is a really big space. Yeah, there's going to be lots of room in order to put in details and all that stuff. And you notice that I usually tend to build on a larger scale just because of the fact that with Minecraft and the way the blocks work, it's much easier to add in detail when I have a larger canvas, I guess you could say, in order to deal with. So a warehouse will be kind of in this area right here. I know I'm kind of pointing into a vaguely large space, but I want to keep the warehouse the top, I would say 2/3 or 3/4 of this area. And then down here on the bottom, I would think a nice vault where you could keep your stuff safe. That would be a really awesome place to put a vault. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to concentrate on the vault today. The warehouse is kind of simple. You just have to design one floor, and then from there you just expand upwards or downwards or whatever. But in order to make a foolproof vault, especially if you're on an SMP server or anything like that where you have to protect against other people from getting at your stuff, the best way I've found to protect your stuff is just get yourself an ender chest, plonk it down wherever it is, and bam, you're done. It's all safe, because as you know, with ender chests, you are the only one that can access the stuff that's inside it. So seems pretty boring, but what we're going to do is we're going to concentrate on maybe the looks of it and how to make something look like it's being protected. So I'm going to go away first, and I'm going to get a basic design going, and from there we can concentrate on the little details, and that's what we'll do when I come back with you. So I'll see you in just a little bit. Alright, so here's a little progress update for you. So far I have kind of roughed in the actual size of the warehouse. Down below there is the vault. We'll get to that in just a second. But as far as the warehouse itself goes, I do want to automate it a little bit. Probably add in some sort of sorting system. Probably semi-automatic. I'm not too sure yet, but I do know that I don't want the redstone to be overly complicated, because as some of you may know, I'm not that great at redstone. And I know there's some redstone tutorials on how to do all the sorting stuff, but it might be a little bit too complicated for me to follow along. So again, I just want to keep it simple. So as far as the looks of the warehouse, this will all get filled in, by the way, all this empty space. But what I want to do is to be able to have this warehouse kind of being able to view it from in its entirety, I guess you could say. So if I was somewhere like right here, you'd be able to see the entire warehouse as it is, so you can see it right there. So that's the idea that I'm going to go for. And right over here is going to be some sort of an entrance to the keep itself. And if we go out here, we will find that this leads outside to sort of a this area. You can see right here the glowstone kind of marks off where the actual palace is going to be. That don't worry about. That's a little MC editing right there. But right here will be sort of an entrance to the keep, and it'll kind of meld with the palace itself. So hopefully things will turn out quite well with that. I'm not too sure about the design just yet, but as with anything, it's all in process, and all things we are trying to figure out here and there, but we'll get to it in due time. So over here, I'm not too sure about the actual size of the warehouse. I haven't even put in chests, so I'm not too sure on how much it can hold. Obviously, it's going to hold an amount that will never ever really be filled up if I was playing in survival. But you know, the idea behind it is just to be able to have enough room to keep whatever it is you need to keep. So down here is the vault. And you can see I've made it out of obsidian. Obviously, it doesn't really matter what you make the materials or the outside of the vault in. You could make it out of bedrock, but for me, it doesn't seem really practical in order to do that in survival. And most of the time, I like to build things that are plausible to make in survival. Just it adds a little bit of a challenge for me. And really, it doesn't really seem like there's a point to it if I start building things out of bedrock, right? So over here is what I would deem to be the vault, and the idea behind it is that I want it to look a little bit different from the rest of the warehouse itself. And in here, if we can tunnel through, it's two blocks thick, right? But in here is really where it's going to look amazing, and you can see right now it's pretty dark, and I want to try and keep it that way as much as possible. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to extend this little platform out here. I've added in 2 holes in the top. They're kind of temporary. I may have to add in some sort of a skylight in here, but you'll see why in just a second, why I want to keep some sort of light coming in here. And that is that if I can line it up just right, here we go. We'll take our ender chest, plop it down like so. And just imagine that I don't think this stone brick will be the final choice. Maybe I'll go with obsidian, but take a look at that. You have the blackness of whatever is out here. It kind of gives a mysterious look, especially with the particle effects of the ender chest. That looks pretty cool. But this is basically what I'm looking at going for, is some sort of mysterious type background with this thing being the highlight right in the middle. It kind of gives you a sense of importance, right? That this thing is pretty important. And I think I've seen this. Where have I seen this before? I think it was in X-Men, the movie X-Men. One of the movies, I forget which one, it was the first one or something like that, but Professor Xavier, he has his little room where he does his mind tricks or whatever it is. Sorry, I'm not really a big X-Men person, but I have seen the movie, and it kind of reminds me of that in a way, because this entire area is basically a giant globe. If I can, I'm just placing down some glowstone right here just so I can get a good look at what I have going on here. So something like that. There we go. So now you can see kind of the dimensions of the circle itself. So this will be sort of suspended in space, so to speak. I'm not too sure how it's going to work out, but I think maybe some sort of platform that comes out to here, we'll cut it off maybe around here. And then, I don't know, maybe some sort of a circular type structure in the middle. We'll just take a look at this real quick. So something like that, something along those lines. And the idea behind it is, of course, this vault, the ender chest, will be kind of the focal point of the whole thing. Obviously, you can't put too much in here, but it's not really about what's in here or wherever. It's all about looks right now. That's all we're pretty much concentrated on. But the next thing that I want to do is to give some sort of a better looking entrance to this, because right now, as it stands, I just have that little hole right there. And over here, right where this glowstone is right where I think I'll be hooking up some sort of elevator system. Not too sure how far back I want it to be, but the idea is that wherever I land, I want to be able to see the entire vault as a whole. So what I'm thinking about is maybe making some sort of arched entrance, and something like this. I'm just going to rough it in. Oh, wait a minute. I'm just going to take a step back. Maybe not. Maybe we'll go out a little bit further. Something like that. Yeah. Just like that. And sometimes with these arches, I tend to figure them out on the fly. It's much easier for me to do this rather than go through some complex calculations, and really I just use my eyes to try and figure out what looks good, what doesn't look good. Obviously, if it doesn't look good, you change it up until you find something that does look good, right? So let's see, we'll just do that. A little bit more of this. There we go. So that looks, it's not bad. I think we can change some stuff up here. Maybe drop it down a little bit. No, it's too even. What I'm trying to go for is kind of a steep climb up to the top, and then it kind of bows out a little bit. And it's not bad, but I'm not too keen on it. We'll just try and change it up just a little bit before I have to. Well, maybe that'll work. No, maybe not. I'm gonna go away for a little bit, and what I'll do is I'll come up with a nice little arch design, and then from there I'll have to extend it out a little bit. Yeah, that is what I'm trying to go for. A nice kind of grand entrance. So when I come back, I think we'll have a little bit of a finished entrance. All right, so here's kind of like the final concept of what I want to do. And by the way, if you're wondering why I'm using the orange wool, it's just so I can block in the shapes without too much trouble, so that I can better discern between what is the globe part and what is the little thing that I'm going to be extending it out to. In MC Edit, it's much more easier for me to kind of just select blocks and then change them to whatever block I need later on. But I've decided on, I was talking about earlier how I wanted it to kind of bow at the top, but I think this shape looks a lot better, kind of fans out. Oh, a little bit of a lightning storm going on there. But you can see it kind of flares out at the bottom here, and then it comes to a fine point, so to speak. And so the idea behind it is that it gives this kind of grandeur, the entrance itself. And the thing that I wanted to show you was just over here. You can see how it's really thundering out there. But you can see I've kind of added in some blocks here just to kind of smooth out the edges a little bit, mainly because I didn't like how abrupt it was connecting. I kind of wanted to give it a little bit of an organic type feel, and that's just my own personal preference. There's no really rhyme or reason why I want to do it. You can see right now it doesn't really look that great, but I think once we turn it into obsidian, you won't even notice it, and it might look even better, kind of a smoothed out type look. So the next thing that I want to do is actually just turn this into obsidian, and then from there we can start working on sort of like the details of rounding off this entrance. So I will do that, and I will see you in just a little bit. All right, so here we go with another progress update. So far, I have taken out the orange wool and replaced it with obsidian. And right here where I was mentioning that it kind of meets a little bit too perpendicular for my liking, I've smoothed it out quite a bit. And it kind of works with my eye. I like the way it looks right now, especially with this part kind of jutting out like it is right now. And I've kind of tapered off at the top. It kind of comes to a point. Is that the right word, taper? Whatever. But the next thing that I want to do is to kind of work on some of the details that go into this. Obviously, our main focal point will be the ender chest in the middle. These glowstones will be gone so that the main focus is the ender chest. And what I'm thinking is to use another type of block, another dark type of block. And I kind of went through the whole mess of stuff that we have here in terms of block choices, especially the ones that have stairs and slabs along with them. And right now I found nether brick that kind of works with it. There is some dark oak, and I think, what was the other one? Dark oak. I think I was looking at the red sandstone stairs, or the red sandstone in terms of what would go well with obsidian, but red sandstone doesn't really work with my eye. I was thinking about quartz at some point, but it's a little bit too contrasty for my liking. So I think the winner is going to have to be this nether brick. And I'm going to try and work on some sort of door. Obviously, you can't really, well, you can make doors that are larger than 2 by 1 in terms of block height, like a door, sort of like that. But in terms of anything bigger than that, you have to kind of use your imagination to try and figure out what looks good and what doesn't look good. But for myself, what we will do is we will try and kind of come up with something on the fly here. Now just follow along with me, and we'll see what we can come up with. Like that. Like so. Here we go. Like that. Like that. Yeah. Alright. So you can kind of see what I'm trying to go for here is that the nether brick kind of complements the obsidian itself. And again, it's that dark type of block. And for some reason, it's coming out real evil looking. I don't know why that is, but we'll see. We'll see where it takes us, right? I did have an option to use, instead of obsidian, to use some sort of where is it? Block of coal. And I did put that down to take a look at it, and it looks okay, but in terms of colors, it doesn't work with anything else. At least in my opinion, it doesn't really work with anything else. So we're going to continue on with this. We're just going to try and lock in some sort of decent pattern that may or may not look good. You never know. And again, it's all about just placing blocks, seeing what looks good, what doesn't look good. Does that look okay? And the idea that I'm trying to go for is trying to make some sort of entranceway that looks like a door but really isn't a door. So I don't know. Take that however you want to. I'm not really sure what will come out of this. I mean, that's okay. I'm trying to get some sort of detail in terms of the way that the stairs work. Maybe we can put something like this right in the corners, just like that. And you can kind of see how we're forming together some sort of pattern on the outside here. On the inside, obviously, it's pretty bare. Whoop. There we go. It's pretty bare, but it's really just all about looks on the outside. So that looks kind of cool. What if we did this? Sort of like that. I'm trying to connect the obsidian with the brick just a little bit. We'll just get up there. That might be okay. Yeah, that's not bad. Now, I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with the outside here. I might try and play around with this, putting down some nether brick on the outside. Actually, that doesn't look too bad. That doesn't look too bad. So something like that. Maybe the top can change a little bit. Maybe I'll add in a little bit of a nose to the point. No, let's take that away. And if you guys have already noticed the echoey tones, maybe you're picking it up in your earbuds, but I have some echoes that go on in this room, and that's because we moved on to our new place. I'm in my new place right now. It's a townhome, small townhome, but it does the job for us, at least for now. The room that I'm in is supposed to be the baby's room, but as it stands, my wife and I, we kind of decided to kind of have the baby with us for the first little bit, and then we'll turn this room into our kids' room. So I actually don't know how long we're going to stay here, or if we're going to be able to do that, mainly because my wife likes living in the city, and we don't live in the city anymore. We're kind of out in the suburbs a little bit, but right now it's all about space for us. We want to try and figure out what looks good, or what is the best for us, and that is right now it's all about space. So that's a little bit of an update on my life and what's been going on thus far. Of course, I apologize as always, as the distance between the videos that I've been putting out. It is, again, not what I would like to do, but it is a fact of life, and it is what I need to do in order to survive, I guess. But with the baby coming and all that stuff, it will take some time in order to get used to doing things the way I need to do things. And it's all an adjustment pattern. And like I said before, these videos will keep on going as long as I have a voice. I will keep on doing this. So you guys don't have to worry about me just all of a sudden quitting, stopping YouTube or anything like that. It will keep on going. I promise you that this will keep on going. That's not bad. And you can see how we're just talking here, and we're just kind of shooting the breeze, and I'm telling you about my life and all that stuff, but we can come up with some pretty interesting patterns just by placing blocks, right? And that's what it's all about. That kind of is not connecting the way I want it to. Can I do? That's okay. But you can see right now, I mean, we've come up with some sort of a detail type pattern just by using stairs. I haven't even touched the slabs thus far, but the entrance is looking decent. And again, we have a straight shot to look right at the ender chest, which is our focal point. I may have to take away this a little bit and maybe frame it in a little bit differently. Let's take a look at this. Just a real... Yeah, that's okay. But that'll be something that I'll have to work on, and that will have to be something for the next episode. I thank you guys for watching. Of course, don't forget to leave your comments down below. Talk about whatever you want. I will try and respond as quickly as possible, of course, to any and all of your comments. And if you like this episode, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps me out a lot. And if you're new to this channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It keeps you up to date on everything that goes on in it. So that's it for me. Always remember, keep your head up, and I'll see you in the next one.